What's up, everybody? Jeff Stevens from CrazyDadLife.com and the host of the Crazy Dad Life podcast. I just came across something that I wanted to share with you guys because I thought it was pretty cool. It's the ability to take your podcast episode and directly embed it into Twitter so your audience can immediately listen to the episode without having to go anywhere else. I think it's so cool. Man, look at my beard. It's No Shave November, so you have to excuse the stubble coming in, but it is coming in rather nicely. Anyway. So what do you need to do? You need to follow the tutorial that I'm going to include after this little video introduction. And it's going to step you through the process of basically taking your Libsyn direct download link, creating a pretty link from that, and then dropping that into your actual tweet so your audience can immediately listen to your awesome episode. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the quick tutorial. Hope you guys like it. If you want to reach out, just hit me on Twitter at CrazyDadLife. Or send me a note or an email over at jeffstevens@crazydadlife.com. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jeff Stevens from crazydadlife.com. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to embed your podcast, a recent podcast episode of yours, into an actual tweet so your audience can listen directly within your Twitter feed. This is something that is very beneficial to promote your podcast and to get it out there for people to listen to, without them having to pull up the iTunes app or their podcast app or somehow go and find your podcast. This is being able to actually use the Twitter feed itself to listen to a podcast episode. It's pretty awesome. So check this out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is head over to your podcast hosting platform. In my case, I use Libsyn. So here I am on my Libsyn dashboard. I'm going to use this latest episode of the Crazy Dad Life podcast, episode number 32, as my tweet today. So what I need to do is get the link to the direct download of that podcast episode. So let's go into the More button. We'll be able to look at the links. So I can pull up my direct download URL. I'm going to grab this link right here and copy that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an easier version of that URL so people don't have to remember that URL, or I don't have to paste that massive thing into Twitter. So I jump over to Pretty Link. This is in my website on WordPress. I have the Pretty Link plugin. You can do add a Pretty Link, and we'll make it a permanent Pretty Link. We'll drop in that direct download URL that I just grabbed. Here is where you put your reformatted URL to what you want it to say. In this case, I'm just going to call it redesign, since that is what the topic of that podcast episode is all about. I'm just going to put in a quick title for this, redesign tweet, just so I know that's the one that I'm using in Twitter. So my link will be crazydadlife.com/redesign. I'm going to keep all the defaults here and just create that pretty link. So now I have the pretty link here. I can select this and copy that. So now I have my pretty link copied. I'll head over to my Twitter and I'll do a new tweet here. Compose this new tweet, call it 8 benefits of redesigning your website. Then I'll paste the pretty link there. This is where it's going to refer. I'll get rid of all these extra characters just to save some space. And then I'll put in some hashtags just so people can find it a little bit easier. Let's call it design, content. That's good enough. So you put 8 benefits of redesigning your website. I have the link to my pretty link, and then I have a couple hashtags so people can hopefully find it. So if I tweet this off, now we go down to the actual tweet itself right here. We pull that open, and now you can see that this actual tweet within my Twitter feed has the episode embedded in it. So now all I have to do as a user, if I see this tweet come across, now I just come in here and I hit the play button. This is the Crazy Dad Life podcast, episode number 32. So there you go. So there is the method. Very easy, just a couple steps, and you can immediately distribute your podcast episode to all your followers on Twitter and make it super easy for them to actually listen to your content without having to go through all these different steps. So hopefully this is a very useful tool for you for, promoting your podcast, getting the word out there about your podcast and all the great stuff you're doing. If you want to reach out to me, go ahead and hit me over at Crazy Dad Life on Twitter, as you can see here, or you could even send me an email, jeffstevens@crazydadlife.com.